If you've just found out about your partner's pornography addiction, sexual compulsivity, or infidelity, you probably feel like your whole sense of reality just gave way. The rage, the grief, the loss of trust in everything, including yourself. Now, I've been a certified sex addiction therapist for almost 10 years, and I hear this from partners every single week. What you're experiencing is called betrayal trauma, and it's a real psychological response to what you've been through. So in this video, I'm gonna walk you through what betrayal trauma actually is, why the reactions you're most likely having are completely normal, and what the path towards healing looks like. Let's get right into it. Betrayal trauma is a specific trauma that can occur when a person's trust is violated by an attachment figure or person they rely on for survival. Now, what separates this from general heartbreak or being hurt by a partner's choices, and why is it so impactful? Heartbreak is loss, longing, sadness, grief, pain, maybe surprise, shattered hopes and dreams. But with betrayal, there are all of these things, but also violation of trust, breaking commitment or vow, secrecy, lying, deception can make you question everything, even your own judgment. Often you notice your safety has been put at risk through exposure to STIs or STDs, bringing others into your home. Heartbreak is love and loss, where betrayal includes a violation of trust and vows or commitment. The shock that your reality wasn't your reality. Your partner was living a double life, whether it was with another person in the flesh or if they had a completely different persona online. The way they said they spent their time, the way you thought they spent their time, it had all been misrepresented. What they said they were, what they said they were doing, all of this was inaccurate. You find yourself wondering, what is true? All this time I thought he was working late on these big projects, but now I know that's when she was in town. And when she wasn't, he was video chatting and watching porn. So you think about that late meeting, and that work trip, that work dinner, and you wonder if anything was true. You can't ask them to verify him because they've been lying this whole time. That feeling that there's no real way to know the truth makes you feel crazy. And this crazy feeling, doubting your entire reality, this suddenly not knowing who to trust is so different than heartbreak and breaking up. With heartbreak, yes, there are many questions, there's pain, it can also be shocking, but the betrayal adds many more layers with the alternative reality that has been going on for X number of months or years when you've been told another story. What happens when your primary attachment figure is also the source of your trauma? That particular dynamic makes the situation especially destabilizing. Any kind of betrayal cuts deeply because with betrayal, there's a sense that this person meant a lot to you. Whether it's a parent, a best friend, someone you have a close relationship with, when they violate your trust, the repercussions can send shockwaves years into the future, sometimes forever. Your primary attachment figure is often your primary comfort, primary confidant. You share love, trust, comfort above all other relationships. When your primary attachment figure is also the source of your trauma, the person you want to run to and the person you want to cry to and tell what happened and find comfort is the very person who inflicted the pain and caused the wound. The person who's supposed to love you unconditionally, the person who vowed and promised to be there for you is the person who hurt you. And now you can't seek that safety or that comfort or that trust when you need it the very most. Clients describe a double experience while processing the shock and the heartbreak, the loss of the life they thought they knew, and then also, now what do I do? So simultaneously grieving the loss of the relationship, they're asking themselves, can he recover? Is once a cheater always a cheater? What do I need to do for myself? It is such a difficult time processing feelings, let alone figuring out what actions to take going forward. Most people have never heard of betrayal trauma, nor have they needed to know. Once they go through this experience and then hear the term betrayal trauma, it's like an aha moment. They feel seen and known. It just fits. By the way, if you're going through something like this right now and you're looking for support from someone who specializes in betrayal trauma and sexual compulsivity, you can contact us at Nova Counseling by clicking the first link below this video. Now back to it. So, why do you feel the way you do? Common responses partners experience after discovery include intrusive thoughts, hypervigilance, emotional flooding, difficulty concentrating, and questioning their own memory and perception. Those are post-traumatic stress symptoms. Sounds serious, and it is. This doesn't mean you have PTSD, but it is possible. Either way, these are some of the symptoms that make up PTSD, and they're exactly what people experience when they go through betrayal. These brain and body reactions, or cognitive and somatic experiences, are typical and to be expected. These symptoms, hypervigilance, intrusive thoughts, difficulty concentrating, these symptoms can make you feel trapped in your own mind and make you want to isolate from others. These are not signs of weakness, or even that you're not dealing with your situation well. You don't need to be ashamed if you're dealing with similar things. It's just that hard. Betrayal is that difficult. It's that traumatic, that post-traumatic stress symptoms are typical. The instability you feel because the rug was pulled out from under you. More so, your life was ripped from you. Being emotionally and even feeling physically unstable is understandable. These are trauma responses to drastic changes in your reality and drastic changes in your support system. Chronic gaslighting erodes partners' sense of reality over time. They no longer trust themselves, their own memory, or their own reality. They're told things like, no, that's not how it happened. It happened like this. Or your memory's full of holes. Or maybe they will hear a cutting remark intended to hurt and tell you you're too sensitive or you have no sense of humor. Somehow everything is your fault, even feeling hurt or abandoned. Research shows that partners experience more trauma and higher levels of PTSD or post-traumatic stress symptoms when they experience high levels of denial and blame, which of course occurs in gaslighting. There's an assessment for partners, and one of the questions is, how often did he look you in the eyes and lie to you? Questions like this, when their answer is very often, you can expect high levels of post-traumatic stress symptoms. Clients tell me their intrusive thoughts. They tell me about how they can no longer perform at work or remember things like they used to. And I explain, anyone in their shoes would be responding in a similar way. These clients are often so surprised because they're operating at such a lower capacity than they're used to. They could be hard on themselves because of that. When I acknowledge the difficulty in their situation and validate their responses, I can see the relief in their faces, hear it in their voices. I've had clients burst into tears, learning that not only are they not alone in their experience, but in their thoughts, behaviors, and emotional and cognitive responses to the betrayal. It feels so good to have someone understand your experience when you feel so off kilter and alone. What does healing require? What does the healing process actually look like for partners? It's not just time. It's not just forgiveness. And it's not contingent on whether the addict gets help. I am not a believer in time heals all wounds. That sounds like a recipe to bottle feelings and explode or sweep things under the rug only to have them come out later in a way that's unhelpful for yourself or for your relationships. I tell my clients, you want to be okay no matter what happens, no matter what choices he makes and what future he chooses, and whether he stays in recovery or not. You want to take the steps to heal, recover, and learn whatever you can from this experience. That growth and healing will serve you, whether you continue to stay in this relationship or not. So on to the basics of healing for a partner of a porn or sex addict. The healing process involves understanding and processing the trauma you've endured, working through grief for the relationship you thought you had, rebuilding a sense of reality and self-trust, and listening to your gut or your intuition. It involves setting clear boundaries, self-care, and creating or strengthening your support network. For many who have experienced repeated gaslighting, healing will involve rewriting scripts and beliefs in your mind, untangling the web of lies that you may have started to believe. This is too much for someone to do on their own. You'll need specialized help. Ideally, you find a CSAT, a certified sex addiction therapist, or someone supervised by a CSAT for the gold standard treatment. A big milestone in sexual addiction recovery is a full therapeutic disclosure. Most couples who want to stay together choose to go through this process. In short, a full therapeutic disclosure is when the addict works with his or her CSAT therapist to document their full sexual history. This is then therapeutically presented to the partner with both therapists present, guiding the process. Though it's difficult, it's a time to draw a line in the sand and say no more secrets. It sets the couple up for success in the future. Not ready for therapy yet? These tips help partners move forward without therapeutic support. Self-reflection through journaling and meditation can be especially helpful when trying to make sense of so many swirling thoughts. Caring for your whole self through exercise. Some people going through this find intense exercise, like hard runs or HIIT training workouts, relieve stress. Some prefer more subtle movements, like walks or stretching, ideally a combination. Of course, the basics of eating healthy, getting enough sleep remain important, and are critical at this time while your mind is basically running a marathon every hour. Also, finding small ways to enjoy life again, even in the tiniest ways, like taking a moment to savor a cup of coffee in the morning or intentionally go out to look at the sunrise or the sunset. Many partners find it helpful to gather knowledge about sexual addictions, partners of addicts, and the journey other couples have taken through books or credible sources online. Setbacks tend to happen if the partner thinks to herself or to himself, I didn't do this. I didn't cause this problem. So I'm not going to try to help myself or get help or change my life in any way. Well, I understand the sentiment that it isn't your fault and you didn't cause it, but you've been exposed to a lot of unexpected trauma and you deserve help, or at least to help yourself. It's kind of like if you were in a car accident that wasn't your fault and you were seriously injured, you would still go to the hospital for broken bones. You deserve to get help, and the right kind of help, whether your injuries are self-inflicted or not, and whether they can be seen on the outside or not. If you're going through betrayal trauma yourself, and you want to speak with someone who specializes in exactly this, feel free to contact us at Nova Counseling by clicking the first link in the description. We work with partners navigating betrayal trauma, addicts in recovery, and couples rebuilding trust all in one place. So you have support that covers every part of this process. Again, you can reach out to us by clicking the first link below this video. And if you want to learn more about navigating trauma in your relationships, then check out this next video.